The desert wind howled across the empty plains as Ethan Cole guided his horse along a narrow trail. The sun was sinking behind the cliffs, and dark clouds gathered on the horizon. He'd been riding for days, searching for work and running from memories he didn't want to remember. When the first thunder rolled, Ethan pulled his coat tight. "Looks like trouble, girl," he muttered to his horse. Then he heard it, faint, desperate cries carried by the wind. He stopped, listening. Another shout came, this time sharper, a woman's voice in distress. Ethan turned his horse toward the sound. Down in a rocky ravine, two Apache women were struggling to free a wagon stuck in the mud. One was older, the other barely more than a girl, clutching a crying baby. Rain began to fall in sheets as Ethan jumped off his horse and ran down the slope. "I can help!" he shouted over the storm. The older woman raised a knife, frightened, but Ethan lifted his hands. "Easy, I mean no harm!" He threw his shoulder against the wagon and pushed. The mud sucked at his boots, the wheel refusing to move. "Come on," he grunted. The younger woman joined him, and together they forced the wheel free with a sucking sound. The wagon rolled forward, and both women cried out in relief. They took shelter under a rock ledge as lightning split the sky. Ethan started a small fire, his hands shaking from the cold. The women huddled close, protecting the baby. The older woman finally spoke in broken English. "You help us, why?" Ethan stared into the fire. "Didn't seem right to ride away." Her eyes softened. "You good man." He looked away. "Not sure about that." When the storm ended, the older woman pointed east. "Come with us. Chief must thank you." Ethan tried to refuse, but she insisted. With a weary sigh, he followed. He didn't know it then, but the trail ahead would change everything he thought he knew about fate. By dawn, the storm had passed, leaving the desert washed clean under a pale orange sky. The two Apache women led Ethan through winding canyons, where water dripped from the rocks, and the earth still steamed with rain. His horse moved carefully along the narrow paths, hooves clicking softly on the stone. After several miles, they reached a hidden valley nestled between cliffs. Smoke rose gently from the lodges below. An Apache village, alive with morning sounds. Children played near the stream, and elders tended the fires. But as Ethan rode in, all motion slowed. People turned, whispering, their eyes filled with suspicion. A white man entering their home was no small thing. The two women spoke quickly in their native tongue, pointing toward Ethan and miming the storm. The tension eased, though the stares remained. From the largest lodge, a tall man stepped out, Chief Taza, the leader of the tribe. His face carried the wisdom of age and the quiet strength of one who had seen too much. The women bowed their heads and spoke. When they finished, Taza looked at Ethan in silence for a long moment. His eyes were sharp but not hostile. "You helped them?" he said finally, his English careful but fluent. Ethan nodded slightly. They were in trouble. Anyone would have done the same. A faint smile crossed the chief's face. "You think that? But not many do." He gestured for Ethan to follow him inside the lodge. There, they sat across from each other while a young woman served roasted corn. Beans and venison, the firelight flickered between them. "You have no tribe," Taza said. "You walk alone." Ethan hesitated, then nodded. "Lost it all in the war. Been drifting ever since." The chief regarded him for a long time. A man without roots is like a tree without shade. He may stand, but he never rests. The words struck deeper than Ethan expected. He looked down at the floor. "Rest is a luxury I haven't earned." Taza stood and motioned for him to come. Together, they climbed a rocky trail until they stood at the top of a cliff. The wind carried the scent of sage, and the valley spread below them like a painted world. "Long ago," said the chief, "our elders told a story of a stranger who would come during the storm. He would carry no banner, seek no gold, and yet he would help our people. In return, the spirits would help him find his lost soul." Ethan's brow furrowed.
"You think that's me?"
Taza looked toward the rising sun. "I do not think. I feel." He removed a small leather cord from around his neck. Hanging from it was a turquoise stone, smooth and shining, carved in the shape of an eagle mid-flight. "This was my father's," he said. "The eagle is the spirit that rises above storms. Take it. Let it remind you that even a broken man can fly again." Ethan stared at the gift, shaking his head. "I can't take that, Chief. It means too much." Taz's gaze was steady. "When you stopped to help my people, you already took it, not from my hands, but from the will of the Great Spirit. Keep it." Ethan closed his fingers around the stone. For the first time in years, he felt something stir inside. Peace. Not the kind that comes from silence, but from being seen, forgiven, understood. When he left the next morning, the young mother who had carried the baby came to him with a small pouch of herbs. "For your journey," she said softly. "You saved us. The spirits will walk with you now." Ethan smiled, touched his hat, and rode toward the sunrise. The turquoise stone glinted against his chest, glowing in the morning light. As the wind swept across the canyon, he could almost hear the cry of an eagle echoing above, free, alive, reborn. And though the world ahead was still uncertain, Ethan knew one thing for sure: the storm had not broken him. It had revealed who he truly was.